In this tutorial, I'd like to show you how to use Blender to create these realistic bottles and place them in the context of this box. Use a spotlight to cast shadows. So that's it. Let's get started. So here we have a brand new Blender file ready to go, and I'm going to delete the cube by hitting the letter X and then clicking delete. And then I'm going to say Shift A and add a new mesh circle right here. And we want to take the number of vertices down to 8. So in the lower left where it says 32, click that and type 8. Great. Now let's bring this up, and we'll do our rendering with a subdivision surface modifier. So over on the right, I'm clicking the wrench and then add modifier and clicking subdivision surface and bringing the view up to 3 and the render to 3. Great. So let's get going. So follow along as I give you each of these commands. So we're going to extrude this circle downward to get the neck started and the lip. So I'm going to hit the letter E and Z. Oh, before we do that, of course, we're in object mode, so hit Tab to go over to, or just click on this and go over to edit mode. Okay, so now let's try that again. E and Z, and then pull straight down and left click to set it. Now I want to undercut this lip of the bottle, so I'm going to hit E and then enter just to create a whole new set of points that are still in place. Next I'll orbit up a little bit so you can see the bottom as I do this, and then S for scale and pull that inward just by eye about that much. Next, E again and Z, and pull it down, and left click to set it. We might as well be in solid mode while we're doing this too, so down here next to edit mode, I'm going to click this and go solid, and we can see better what we're doing. Notice that this is kind of soft, this transition between the lip and the neck of the bottle. So let me hit A to deselect and then Control R to add a ring cut, and left click and bring that up about to here. Left click again, and then the letter A to deselect. Once again, I'm going to use, I need to select these bottom points, so I'm hitting B for the box tool and click and drag. And E to create a new set of points and enter. And then S for scale and pull these out to form the main part of the body of the bottle. And then E, Z, and we'll pull this down. About like that. I'm going to scale that in just a little bit and create a new set of points again. E, enter. Let me tilt this up so you can see, and then scale the new points in a little bit. And then E, enter one more time, and S, those in, and then F for face. And finally, I want to pull that up just a little bit. Okay. Great. Now, one last thing is to create a thicker top edge. So I'm going to hit A to deselect everything, B for the box tool, click and drag around the top, and once again, let me scale that in just a little bit. And then E, enter, then scale, S for scale, and drag that in a little bit. Good. And then E, enter, and then extrude, E, Z, and we'll pull that straight down. Good enough. There's no need to create a double wall all the way down here because we just need it to look good on the top. Okay, so the bottle is rendered, and now we need to create a material for it. So let's go into object mode here, and let's click smooth on the left here for the shading right here. And let's add a material, make it glass now. So over on the right, click your materials button. And before that, we want to change over here from Blender Render to Cycles Render, so click that. And I want to click New, and Diffuse, we're going to change to Glass, right here. And Roughness, I want to give it just a little bit of roughness, so maybe 0.1, enter. And I'll leave the reflection, index of refraction, alone at 1.45. The color, I'm going to make it just ever so slightly green, so I'm going to click that right there. Great. So let's create a little studio or a little box for it to sit in. Let me zoom out here and put the 3D cursor at the bottom. Hit number 1 on your keypad and number 5 to go into ortho view. Left click again and Shift A mesh plane, and hit the S key to scale and number 8. Enter. Okay, now let's raise up this back wall and this wall. So I want to hit A to deselect everything, go to Tab for edit mode, A again, and hit the middle of the 3 buttons here to select the edge mode, and right click on the back edge here and holding shift right click on this edge, and then E for extrude and Z to extrude upward, and just pull. Left click, and good. Next, let's right click on hit the letter A first and right click. Let's go back to object mode and then right click on your lamp. And let's pull it a little higher and a little further away. And want to use a spotlight. So here's the lamp, properties, and then down here click spot. And we can orbit around just to see how this spot is hitting everything. I want to click over on the right, use nodes, and strength. Let's put it at, we'll start with 8,000 and see how that goes. Enter. And great, let's take a look with a quick render here. So I'm going to hit the render button, and under sampling down below here, I want to make sure that my samples are very low, like at 10 or 12 at this point, so I can adjust things before I do a final render. Okay, I hit F12 and I need to set up my camera view as well, but things are shaping up pretty well here. So I'll hit escape and hit the letter N on your keyboard in order to open this properties window, and then click on lock camera to view, and then hit N to make that disappear, this whole properties panel, and then hit numpad 0 to show us the camera point of view, and zoom out. This is looking pretty good. Let's hit F12 and see how that's looking. Great, I think we're in good shape here. So I want to add 2 more bottles to this very simply. Hit escape, hit, right click on a bottle, and we want to shift D to copy this bottle, and I want to pull it in the Y axis. So Y, hit the letter Y, and then move it over here. And Shift D again, and X to pull it this direction. And now hit F12 again to see how that's looking. Pretty good. I'm going to change the position of the spotlight though to move it to the right more. So let me hit Escape and right click on this spotlight, and let's hit number 1 and then number 3. Let's see, hit R for rotate, and this is good, and RZ to put it that direction more, and F12 to see what that's doing. All right, I'm pretty satisfied with that. So let me hit Escape again and bring my sampling up. So under Render, I'm going to make this 500. Excuse me. And start the rendering process by hitting F12. And let me pause the video and I'll come back when this is done. Actually, while this is rendering, I wanted to point out that there are some white fireflies that are being rendered because of the glass, and what we want to do is fix that by turning up the indirect clamping down in the sampling menu on the right. So I'm going to hit Escape and exit that and click that, and let me put that to 1 and see how that does. Now hit F12 again. And that looks like that's going to take care of that nicely. So let me pause it here again. Okay, we're back, and here's the final render. I'm noticing one little problem. When I scaled in the top to create a thicker lip, I might have missed one of the vertices, but oh well. I'm noticing that the render time here for 500 samples took about 11 minutes on my computer running a hex core CPU at 3.5 gigahertz and 16 gigabytes of RAM. So that's kind of pretty hefty load to render. But anyway, there it is. So good luck, and talk to you later.